Hi guys, this is Len Rappaport, International Press Association and Impress Magazine. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about working with our WordPress blog and our news site, internationalpressassociation.org. It's a great news site. It's built on a WordPress chassis with a custom designed theme, and I think you're going to find it's quite easy to do even for the first-time user. If you're familiar with WordPress, that's even better. This has a couple of little options that the default WordPress sites have because of the theme that we installed and some of the plugins. But anybody new coming to our site can take a look at all our users over here, our current IPA members, and see their works. So first what we're going to do is, let's go back to the home page just to give you an idea of what that looks like as you come into the site. And on our home page, it's quite interesting. We have some great features that this particular theme allows us to do, including some shortcodes, which we'll talk about later. This is called an accordion shortcode, and as we click it, all the content will slide down like an accordion. So you might want to even use this on some of your articles. It's a little advanced feature, but it's great to use, and I think you'll enjoy using it. First, what we're going to do is go down to the admin section on the bottom, and we're going to log into the site. We have set up a little test username, and we're going to log in. And this is basically what you're going to see when you log into your account with your username and password. All right, you'll notice that up here on the left-hand side in your dashboard area, you have a couple of things that you probably don't need to look at right now, but you can check your profile out from here and make changes there. You can take a look at some of the other settings. But right now we want to talk about really how to put in a new post. So in the posts here, we can click on all posts and just give you an idea of everybody's postings on the site. You can't change them or do anything to someone else's. The only thing you're going to see is view over here. And if you view a particular article, you can actually see what a member's article looks like as it was published on the site. Now you're going to notice on my article about the Royal Caribbean cruise that I took, I also have a YouTube video embedded over here, which you can do very easily, and we'll show you how to do that later on. But you'll notice how this particular article is formatted. We've used some headings over here, some fancy headings, to make it stand out. You notice that what I've also done is I've broken up my long text paragraphs into short paragraphs, and that's because people on the internet looking at small text, as you see here, it's hard to read large bodies of text. So what you want to do is, even if you have to force a paragraph break, just skip a line and give it a break, even though grammatically it may not be correct, just to make it easier to read. You can also notice that what I have on this particular article is I have quite a few links here. And if we click on some of them, it says see my Amazon adventure here. We can click on it. It takes you right to an old site that I had about my Amazon adventure. Okay, so it's opening up in a new window. I set it that way. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Very often in a lot of articles that I've read from some of our members, they have a lot of terms or a lot of places that they've gone to that they talk about, but they really don't let the reader understand, about these places or about the article. So what I do is I might link to an article here on Freedom of the Seas. Okay, it's a sister ship of the ship that I was on. And just to give an idea, I link over to Royal Caribbean's, Freedom of the Seas, website to give them an idea of what that ship's all about. So we like the idea of putting in links to inform the reader and make the article a lot more interesting for them. You'll notice that we have a lot of images here. Some are hard right, some are hard left. You can adjust that. You can align the image any way you want. And then if you have a large image, let's say this was a large image, I might have a larger image and just align that in the center. All right. You'll notice that underneath this particular image, I also have a caption. And I'm going to show you about captions in a little bit. And in this particular caption, it says click for larger image. So we're going to click for up. There it goes. It opens up in a new window, shows you a larger version of that particular image. Let's get out of this and let's go back to edit the post. Okay. So there's a lot of things here that we're going to talk about. I just wanted you to see it. This is called an ordered list, and it's ordered by number. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well in the tutorial. Quite easy to do. Lots of things here in this article, and that's why I wanted to show it to you that you will learn how to do shortly. All right. Here is, by the way, an ordered list, and we've used the bullets here instead of the number ordered list. And here again, we've used that ordered list again. All right. And at the end of the article, we have the ability to put a little sign off, a little sign off for our articles that'll tell you to read the article and like us on Facebook, etc. Okay. So let's go back up here. Now that we've looked at this article and we have some idea, and under International Press's dashboard, we're going to click on dashboard and go back. And we're going to actually show you how to add a new article right now. All right. So if we go into, and by the way, I use the word article instead of post. So on WordPress, they call it a post. It's a blog post because it is a blog. But our members are going to know this as an article. So when you want to post an article, you're going to actually post a post. All right. So we're going to add new right over here. Titles are real important because titles are what search engines look for. Compelling title is what people look at and decide to click on to read. So you want to have a good title. You can change it later on, but certainly not after you publish it, and I'll explain that later on. All right, so we're going to call this WordPress. Let's go back in here and try again. WordPress video tutorial for IPA members. Okay. Now, you'll notice in our little formatting menu up here, we have a bunch of options. You can bold your text. You can do a lot of other alignment. And here's your lists. This is a bullet ordered, unordered list, and here's an ordered list with numbers and block quotes and alignments and other things, and we can talk about that a little bit later as we start to actually work in it. If you're going to be importing text from another article you've written somewhere else, it might contain some HTML formatting in it. So what you want to do is, if that was the case, all right, and we're going to just put in some dummy source text, English, Gladia text. You have a couple of versions here. I clicked on this little LI button, and it puts in some dummy tests for me to work with and for you to work with if you just want to see what an article is going to look like. You can play with that. All right, so here's our dummy text here, and I'm assuming that maybe it has some formatting because I brought it in from Microsoft Word or from another article somewhere else. This little eraser icon you see here enables you to remove all the formatting. So we're going to remove that here, and now it's clean text with no HTML. And by the way, up here in the right-hand corner, you'll see visual and text. There's two ways to view this. So you can look at it as text, which has HTML code in it, if there was code here, and in a visual format, it gives you a better idea of how it might look when it's published. All right, so we put in some dummy text here. And the thing that we need to do on all new articles when we get started is we need to get a featured image. So I'm going to come down here on the right-hand side, and it says Set Featured Image. Now, the featured image is basically the image that people are going to see on the top of your article. And it's very important because if you don't have that, it's going to be a blank box in a blog search or in some of our other pages that have a list of all the articles on the site. So you must find a featured article or article's image. Now, if you don't have one that you've shot yourself, all right, there are a number of royalty-free photos that we have that we can help you and embed in your article. You might want to take a screenshot if you're talking about a particular website or something else. You can take a screenshot of that and use that. The featured article image should be around 650 to 700 pixels wide. You want to have a horizontal image. It sets up nicer. A vertical image is going to get cropped and it won't look right. So pick a horizontal image about 650 to 700 pixels wide. If you don't know how to resize it, you get any one of the free photo editing programs. You want to do it by pixels, not by inches. It's easier that way. And we're going to set a featured image right now. And I've already uploaded, but I'm going to show you how to upload a file. So here's our media library, and it shows a lot of the images already on the site. You notice a lot of headshots here because I just recently set up all our members' profile areas. So we're going to upload a file up here. Now you can either drag and drop a file, which is really quite easy to do, or you can select a file from the computer. So we're going to select a file in this particular case, and let's find something.
It's 5 o'clock.
Okay, let's take a look and see what we've got here. IPA, screenshots, and we have short code inserted. Not a great picture, but maybe a picture of International Press's homepage we'll choose just for the sake of this. And we're going to notice on the upper left-hand side it's loading the image file right now. It's a large image file, so it might take a little bit longer if you have a slower connection. Mine is a Fios connection, should be fast, and here it is. Okay, so it tells us over here what the title of that screenshot is. It tells us it's 550 by 502 pixels. It's a little bit short for the image, but we're going to put it in anyhow and just see how that sets up. And we can also delete it permanently if we don't like it. All right, and we're going to set this as our featured image. Okay, and just to see if that really sets up right, we're going to save it as a draft, and we're going to take a fast look and see if it's wide enough. If it's not wide enough at 550 pixels, we might want to select another one. We saved it as a draft. We're not going to publish it yet until it's completely finished, and we're going to go in here and preview the post. Okay, as it turned out, 550 pixels will probably work. Let's see in a second as it comes up. Okay, so here it is. It actually did show up. It's not probably the best image. Obviously, it's a screenshot image, but it'll just give you an idea. Even at 550, I guess we're okay. I think actually it's the picture size is going to probably be more like 500. So in this particular case, let's use 550 pixels to 600 pixels. It'll reduce it to fit, and that'll be fine. You'll notice here's our text that we put in, our dummy text, and you can see how this shows up in a member's article. All right. Obviously, if the article was longer and had all images, which we'll show you in a second, it's going to look quite different. All right, we're going to go up on the top now. We're going to go into Edit the Post. Okay, and we can actually add some additional copy if we want here, and we're just going to go in and add some dummy copy again. You have, by the way, source text, Latin, lorem ipsum, you have English, you have Hungarian, Czech, Deutsch, German. You can add some dummy text any way you want. Let's use the English text. It might be easier. And it says generated amount 5. Let's make that 10. It'll just make it longer. Unformatted sentences, paragraphs. We'll do it as paragraphs. You can even put in dummy list and an ordered list here also, which we'll do in a second. I'll just show you how that looks. Okay, so here's all this text that we just added. We added a whole lot. We added 10 paragraphs and what have you. Let's say now in the middle here we want to put in a little ordered list. We can go in and put a dummy just so we see what it looks like. And we're going to say, here's an ordered list. We'll generate in English and insert that. And here it is. Here's your list, and this is the way it's going to look. So let's just save the draft and let's just take a look at what the text looks like without adding any images. All right. Okay, we're going to preview the post. Now the good thing about this system, it does have an autosave feature, so if your computer crashes, if there's a problem or whatever, you come back in, you're not going to lose all your work. There is an autosave. Now notice, by the way, over here, we've added a lot of copy, a lot of text in here. All right, it didn't take us long to add some dummy text. And you can see here, this is what our ordered list is going to look like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nicely formatted for us, very easy to do, you know, and fits in really nice. Okay, let's go back into the edit the post again. We're going to start to build this article so it's attractive, and we're going to add some image files now. So we're going to come down here. By the way, before we add the image files, let me just add some headings, I guess. We're going to add some dummy headings. All right, so we're going to come after this list, or we can come to this list here. And we want to add in a list of steps to follow. And hold on. Okay. All right, we'll cut that out and we'll try again. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a heading. We like to break up, at least I like to break up my articles so it's easy for my readers to go and actually read the sections of the article they find most important to them, or at least it breaks it up so they have a summary or a table of contents, which I'll talk about later as well. Okay, so we're going to call this list of steps to follow when posting your articles. Okay, let's just change this. Okay, all right, and we're going to highlight this. Now I could bold it and make it very easy and then give it a color if I want over here, but I'm going to use heading number 3, which is pretty nice, and it shows up great, and I'll show you how that looks in a second. And then we have our list, and then we're going to put up another, we don't want to skip here, because if we skip a line here, we add another numbered item. We'll come in here. We're going to put another heading in here and say, how to begin. Okay, these are just dummies. All right, and again, we're going to go in here. Now, we can hit heading 3 here, but let's say I wanted to do, this is a kind of a sub-paragraph of the paragraph ahead. Let's hit heading 4. It's going to be a little bit smaller. Now, if I want to color these, by the way, and give it color, I can do that. Our theme has already signed H3 color and you know, a couple of the others. So take a look first and see what it looks like, and if you want to change a color or do something, you can. I'll show you how to do that in a second, but let's go in and save the draft right now. Let's just take a look at these 2 headings and what they look like. Okay, you notice heading 3 happens to have a nice navy blue color to it, so we don't need to do anything with that. And heading 4 is quite nice also. It's in a red. So again, if you were going to do, you know, maybe a major or a main area of the article, you would use H3, and then if you want to have some subheads like this one, how to begin, step 1, step 2, you know, and go into detail on that, you can do that as well. So play with those a little bit and get familiar with it, and if you need to add a color to it or you want to add a color, we're going to show you how to do that right now. So we're going to go back to edit the post again. And let's say in here now, we see the name Aurora, and we wanted to bold that, and maybe I wanted to give it a little color, to give it a little importance. I can come in here and just click down on this letter A with the underline underscore underneath it. And I always like the third, if I'm going to use navy, I use the navy blue here. It's the third one from the right top row, or I'll use this maroon color, and by the way, it tells you maroon and tells you navy and it tells you what colors they are. So if you're colorblind, I guess, I guess it helps a little bit. But here's teal and so forth. Don't stay away from a lot of these bright colors. They're hard to read on the website, and I noticed some of our members are using colors like this bright blue, this shocking blue. It's a little bit too much. I would stay with the navies and the maroons and the deeper colors. Even a nice dark gray is kind of nice sometimes, so you can play with that. Black is up here, dark gray is over here. Here, let's do a green just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And we could even underline this text if we want. You see here the U with the underline. By the way, you notice that as I mouse over a lot of these little pointers, it tells you basically what it is. It says remove formatting here, insert custom characters if you have some of those wacky characters. Certainly in foreign languages, they use a lot of them. You can indent, a particular selected area. So there's a lot of things. Experiment with this. You can even put in smiley faces if you like. They call them emoticons or emotions. You can insert your videos, etc. So there's a lot of things here. There's also a little clip art gallery, and let me just show you that for a sec. All right, let's assume that Aurora, and let's see, in here we wanted to use a little piece of clip art for some reason. I don't know why. I don't like clip art normally, but it is. It may come in handy. Now these are, if you notice, this online royalty-free public domain clip art. So I'm going to say, I don't know, horse. Okay, we got to have a horse in here somewhere. Look at that. I got a horseshoe and I got a horse and I got lots of other things. And I don't know why I have a dolphin in here or an elephant, but if I wanted, I could put a horseshoe in here, and let's see, a medium-sized one. I could always resize it, and there we go. So clip art can be kind of interesting if you don't have an image and you just want to put something that might be appropriate. You can do that. And by the way, you can come in here on any image that you insert here, and I'm going to talk to you about images a little bit more later. But you can edit the image or delete it. You can edit it and tell it whether you want it to be formatted on the right and have the words wrap around it, whether you want it to be in the center and have your text below it, or on the left, and this is, they call this a magnet, so horseshoe magnet, okay. And I can also add, any caption that I want, so I might put a caption in, my lucky horseshoe, or, whatever, my lucky horseshoe, okay? And I'm going to update that, and we're going to save it as a draft, and now we're going to see what it looks like. So clip art can be useful for you. Again, if you're not a photographer, you're a journalist, and you just need some clip art to see what things look like, or to jazz up break up a lot of the body of text that you've got. This is another good option to do that. We have lots of royalty-free photos that we use here that we can make useful to you. So if you're having trouble with maybe your featured image, let me know. I'll take a look at my library, see if we've got something that's appropriate, and we'll lock it in for you. So you don't have to worry too much about that. Plus, there's lots of royalty-free photos that are available on the internet that you can use, and very often you can sometimes grab an image from another website, credit them. Again, this is an educational website at Impress, at International Press, so you do have a fair doctrine use on some of the images, but we prefer to try to use our own or royalty-free whenever we can. If not, obviously credit them and maybe even link over to the website where you grab the image from, so that they at least get some traffic and get some credit for it. If there's a problem, we will figure it out later on. We don't want to use other people's copyrighted material if we don't have to, and if we do, we have to be very cautious that the article is more of an educational nature than anything else, not of a commercial nature. So you don't want to use pictures of a rock star, because you did a concert and you didn't have any photos for it. Because that is not educational use, it's considered commercial use. So there's a little bit of a caution here, okay? So you can see that, look how nice this is starting to look already. We have, you know, some clip art in here. We have now formatted, you know, our headlines here and our subheads. And we even have an ordered list here, all right, by number. Okay, let's go back in now and take a look at our post again. It's starting to shape up a little bit. And let's add maybe some other images into the article. So as we go down the article, we're going to say, all right, you know what? Right over here, really, I should put another image. So I'm going to click over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to add media. All right, there's nothing basically in the media gallery I can use, but, you know, if there is, you know, feel free, you know, to grab something that we've got already here. And here's one that I might be using. Here's one about money. Okay, well, let's use that and see how. All right, this is a narrow image. We don't want to use this. It's 940 by 283. It's been used for one of our other areas. Okay, we're going to grab this nice couture, these fashion people. If we didn't want to do that, we can certainly upload a file. Let's go here and take a look. You can drag and drop a file, which is really cool. So you just drag it over from your desktop right into here. This whole thing will turn navy blue or blue, and it'll upload the file for you. But we're going to select a file right now, and we're going to go into new member listing. Okay, well, here's a member article. No, here's new member listing. Okay, so this article is about posting on the site, so we're going to choose this one for now. It's going to upload the image here in the top left-hand corner. Okay, and it's uploaded, it's ready to go. And on the right-hand side, you can see a little thumbnail of it, and it says it's 640 by 424. It's probably going to be pretty big. We're going to choose down here to align it to the right side, because the other one we had was on the left, the horseshoe. We'll put this one on the right. And it says, do you want to link it to the media file or to an attachment page or a custom URL? This is the link to the full-size image that's 640 by 424. So if we don't want to do that and we decide that we want to link it to maybe another website or another article, you can link it to whatever you want or choose none. All right, so we're going to choose none. Well, you know what? In this case, let's choose to the media file. So when I click on it later, it'll open up into the full-size image. And we're going to choose medium size, which is 300 by 198, and we're going to insert it into the post. And in a moment, there it is. Okay. Now you'll notice that we had this Asian image here, and we have this one, and I didn't remember that we had this here. So, but let's take a look and see what this looks like. It's just going to look kind of wacky, but let's save it as a draft, and I can show you how to fix these issues. All right? Because what it looks like here may not appear the same way in the article. So I'm going to show you how they looked in my preview, in my actually admin section, and how they actually show up here. All right, so you see, obviously it is wacky because one's on top of the other, one overlaps the other. So we're going to go in and correct that right now. So if this happens to you, I just want to show you what to do. All right, you can do one of two things. Okay. So we know these are not going to show up this way. They're going to actually show up one on top of the other. I can take this image, I can delete it for now, leave this one where it is, and maybe change this one to the left because we have the horseshoe, and we're going to update that one. And then let's say I want to put the other image in over here. I can go back in, add media, and I'll show you where the image is. Here it is right over here. I'm going to click on it and say now at this time we have the other one on the left. We'll put this one on the right, and medium is fine. We could do a large version, but medium it should be okay. You know what? I'm going to do large. I'm going to show you how to resize that. All right. I'm going to insert that into the post over here, and here it is. Now, if we think this is too big or too large for this particular body of text, we can change that. But you know what? Let's save it as a draft. I just want to show you what it looks like. And we're going to preview the post. Okay, now, we kind of knew that it was going to be too large beforehand, but I wanted to show you that in this particular case, this is not really good formatting. You know, the blog post is kind of narrow to begin with, and having a large image like this, you'd either center it, you know, or what you do is you make it smaller. So we're going to go back into edit it, and we're going to just reduce the size for now, and then I'll show you how to center, you know, a particular image as well. So if we click on the image, we click on the little picture on the side, and we can reduce this to 70% or 60%, and you know, and do it that way. And here I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna leave this so if people click on it, it'll open up into the larger version anyhow. All right, and it's called a new member list. Is actually the title of this. We're gonna call it a new member list over here. I'm gonna update this over here. Now you see that it's much smaller than it was before, and if we save it and look at it, you're going to see it's going to look much better. So you're going to have to play with this because the view that you see here is not going to be the same as it's going to look when it's published. So you may have to do what I do and keep going back and forth until you really get it to the way it should look. And here we are at the post. And we can see now it's much smaller. The body of text wraps around it nicely. If we wanted to see this in a larger version, we might say even click here for larger version, or click here to enlarge or enlarge. You know, some people do that. A lot of people know about that. And here it is enlarged. Look how big it is. Okay, so there's the full size of this image, you know, if someone wanted to actually see it. All right, so this is pretty cool. You can actually save a whole page or a huge image if you want, and then just insert a small thumbnail section of it or a smaller version of it in your article. Okay? All right, so now we're good. We know how to insert images. We know something about a line list. We know how to find our clip art. We know how to do our titles. And basically, maybe this article is pretty much done right now. All right? Now, one thing I do very often is I want to go and proofread this stuff because very often, you know, I make spelling errors or there's grammatical mistakes or other things. When I go to publish this, we have another feature. It's a proofreading feature. Okay. All right, so here we are again, back to the article. Now, what we're going to look at is categories. Here, we want to make sure that blog is checked here. Uncategorized, you know, uncategorized might be something we would do temporarily until we figure out the category for your article. Now, only the admin can actually add categories, and I can do that. So if you feel that there's some categories that I missed or that you really want to include here, just let me know. I'll add the categories and then check it off for you when I go in to edit your article and make sure that it's right. All right. Tags are something else that I want to talk about because tags are quite important. Tags are what people can come in and actually search for an article. So if you had a tag on photography, for instance, and we had 10 articles on photography, by clicking on that little tag on the top of your article, they're going to be able to find all the articles about photography. Tags are also good for search engines. It's good for a lot of other reasons, so we want to tag it. Now, what I generally do is I'll go into my article, and I know some of the tags that I want already, but I might decide that if I'm writing an article about a cruise ship, that I want to tag the name of the ship. I want to name, maybe tag the name of their company. So all I can do is I can come in here and say, you know, write in whatever the tag is, and this tag might be how to as a tag, and we can add that. All right, it's a how-to article. Now, we also have something below it as we get more and more content on the site and more tags. You can choose from the most used tags here, and you click on here. And it has things like travel and related posts and a lot of other stuff. You can see some of the tags that have appeared in other articles already. If any of those apply, then certainly you can click on these. Here we can say related posts. And you'll notice that it just added related posts here. If we decide to take a tag off, there's a little X in a box. You can just click that and take it off, okay? Again, in a further tutorial, I'll show you how to embed slideshows and how to embed some videos and other things, all right? Now, one other thing before I forget, up on the right-hand corner, there's something called screen options. Each screen has a different set of options. You'll notice that there's a bunch here that have already been checked. You can take a look, but one that hasn't been checked that you should check is called excerpt. And I'm going to check that right now, and I'm going to show you what that does. Okay, you can also have revisions, which is very important if you decide that you want to go back to an earlier revision of your particular post. You might have made some mistakes or whatever. You say, oh my God, how do I undo this? Go back to a previous revision. So these two you want to make sure are checked, excerpts and revisions. Discussions and trackbacks, not really that important. You can also view this while you're working on it as a one-column layout, which is quite wide as you see here, or 2 columns. If you're working on the post, you might decide to view it as a 1 column. Kind of easy to kind of see everything this way. It's bigger and wider, so that's your option. And we're going to click on 2 columns for now because we're actually going through a lot of these other features. So that's your screen options here, and once you do that, you can just close that window. All right. You notice there's also a help window over here. All right. So you can go in, title and post, enter the text of your post. It actually tells you how to insert the media. It tells you how to publish the settings. There's a lot of information here that this video might not have covered. Go in, take a look at it. It's going to show you a lot more, and just read it when you get a chance. Okay. So basically, now we have pretty much completed our first article, and we're going to now get ready, and we're going to publish. Okay, here we go. So here's our article. Look at this. We've got some images here. We've got some clip art. We've got some headings and subheads. We might want to put a lot more in on that over here. I didn't want to take your time for this video. And anybody that's looking at this, if they're looking at it in another country and there's another language, they can actually click here, and here's Espanol and Spanish. And I think it's going to have a hard time because it's all gobbledygook text, but sure enough, the words that were words have been translated into Spanish now. So your article is going to be able to be read in a number of different languages on our site. You'll notice that even everything else here has changed to Spanish. So the tags and the messages, the titles here, even your heading for your title on your article, all right, has been changed to Spanish. All right, we're going to go back to English for now. And that basically concludes this particular tutorial on how to get your first post up on the internationalpressassociation.org website.